or subscribes or opts in, or after they buy something, there's usually a thank you page. And this little pixel, tiny little piece of code that's invisible, tracks them and adds them to your list to target. Conversion pixels, as I say, track such things as email signups and sales, whereas website custom audience pixel track visitors to your website from any source. So you can create a custom audience out of them for retargeting, even after they've vanished from your site into the ether. Instead of losing them, they're usually placed on every web page, and it can be done globally, typically for most sites. So there's, if you look at broad targeting, when you're targeting by interest, you'll find all sorts of different areas and sub-areas. And once you've determined, say you have a health product, you'll probably choose health and well-being, and then you can go into precise targeting, where you can target users based on their very precise interests, groups they've joined, pages they've liked, all sorts of different criteria that you can choose. And it tells you, as you put them in, how many potential people you can reach for each of those specific interests. And this is just a screenshot I took from the web. It's not one that I ran particularly, so I don't have a massive interest in Appalachian mountain cats personally, but somebody does. In fact, 26,000 people do. So the next step, after you've built up, or even actually before you've built up, as you'll see in a second, your Facebook page, is to basically take 3 posts, whether they're blog posts that you have on your blog that are really valuable and interesting and would be of interest to your target public, and you create an ad by doing a promoted post of that ad, and you target the people who are likely to be interested. And at this point, you're selling nothing. You're basically introducing yourself as a source of free, wonderful information that would be very useful to them. So that they get more reality on you, they get a communication from you, their affinity for you rises, etc. Now, if you don't have already a significantly active website already built with a good sized website custom audience, you can start with the Facebook fans that you've built up from your on your fan page, from your likes campaign. If you don't have enough of them, you can target by relevant interests. In other words, if you don't have enough Facebook fans either, you can just go into the targeting by interest and target by relevant interests, lookalike audiences, to send your helpful content to. Those who click to read your blog post at your site, and of course you can have an opt-in box in the side panel, they go into your funnel to get nurtured and targeted for products and services, and they get added to that website custom audience. And you can start reaching them in other ways. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I'm just going to open the, because I know I'm covering some kind of technical stuff here, so I'm going to open the chat window in case there are any questions there. What was that site again? Was that postplanner.com, I think? Is that the site you're referring to? I think that's the only site I've mentioned so far. So that would be postplanner.com. And will we be able to review the webinar later? Yes, absolutely. Yes, David records these webinars. And, oh, actually, Kathy can't hear me, so I better, okay, first of all, post.
And today, of all things, my internet crashed for about 3 or 4 minutes. So I missed a little bit of the middle of your show. So I will probably end up with a part 1, part 2, and part 3. And part 2 we'll have to do separately so that I can get the section that I missed.
Okay. Oh, okay. So Kathy can hear. So yes, you will be getting this one.
Could we have the slides?
You will be getting the slides, yeah, if you want them. I send them to David, and he has the option of sending them if he wishes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll have the recording. Okay. So Let me close this chat so I can see my screen. Yeah, so at this point, you're just starting to build your relationship very gently, very gently. Now, the next step you do is a Facebook ad that's designed to get opt-ins from a simple landing page. In other words, you want people subscribing to your email list, because I'm sure I don't need to tell anybody here that where most every successful internet marketer from the beginning of time, or at least from the beginning of internet time, makes their money is from their list, from nurturing and providing helpful free information to their list and then selling to their list. So it's so absolutely vital to build your audience. And this is the first step where you're actually targeting specifically to do that. So you create an enticing post, you make it into an ad, in other words, you make it a promoted post, at which point it says sponsored, there, as you can see. And this time you use, instead of optimizing for fan page likes, you use page post engagement. Again, you can target by interests, custom audiences, and lookalike audiences. It builds your email list via a free offer of relevant value on your landing page in exchange for their email address. So many times I see people who on their websites, the plus point is that they have an opt-in box for people to sign up. The out point is they say, sign up for my newsletter. People do not sign up for newsletters anymore. Maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago they did, but not now. It's got to be much more enticing. It's got to be something that they can download now that's really interesting and really valuable, whether it's a report of the top 10, whatever they are, or a resource list, anything that would be of real use to your target public, that they look at it and go, oh, I want that, and I'm willing to give my email address for that. A very, very important point. So I don't want to see any more of these. Subscribe to my email list. Okay, now the next step, after you've gotten people signed up to your, opting into your email list, you want to create with your autoresponder. An autoresponder is something like Aweber or MailChimp or Constant Contact or any of those. There are many of them. Basically, they will auto-respond to the people signing up. They'll say, thank you very much for signing up. There'll be the conversion pixel there so that you can add them to your audience. And then you will set up, a few days later, they'll receive a very valuable informational email from you, selling nothing, trying to do nothing other than just providing helpful information. And you can create these in advance and just have your autoresponder put them out in sequence over a period of weeks or however you set it up. And you use this basically to build to get your audience to get to know you, like you, and trust you, because that's who people buy from. So you follow up, as I said, with autoresponder emails that give valuable information. And then a little later, as we'll see in the next slide, gently soft sells or does an introduction, soft sell to your product or service. And this goes to those who opted into your email list. So the next step is, after you've actually continuously, since you've set it up as an autoresponder, as people continue to sign up to your list, they go through this sequence. And one of the autoresponders would be something that introduces them to your product or service. And it does it through a pre-sell landing page. This is one of the more successful actions in this area. And a pre-sell landing page, typically the ad might ask a compelling question that's really interesting to them, and they click on it, and they go to a short article that answers that problem for them or answers that question for them, and at some point says, oh, and by the way, a product that is really effective for handling this thing we were just discussing is X, and that links to your sales page. And so you create a post on your newsfeed that has a compelling title, an image or video, and links to a soft sell pre-sell page that sends them to the sales page. And as I said, it's sent to your opt-ins and website visitors and previous customers. Very effective is to use stories. People love to read interesting stories much more than they like reading lists of facts or statements of how great you are or anything like that. And at this point, you're also going to include a call to action. And the call to action is usually in fact, is to send them to your sales page. Now, some people at this point will buy the product, but some won't. So a little bit later, those people who didn't buy, you start the hard sell via a promoted post that goes straight to your sales page. And again, it has the same characteristics as your soft sell ad, and it goes to those who got the soft sell ad but didn't buy. And of course excludes those who already bought, because there's no quicker way to piss off your customers than to try and sell them something they've already bought. Then if they still haven't bought, you do another hard sell reminder, basically, of another promoted post to your sales page. And in this case, you can show more benefits, you can show testimonials, you can ask if they have any questions. You're just continuing to put yourself in their face. And then, for those who still haven't bought, you basically track, adjust, tweak, survey. You can even say, hey, we've got this wonderful product. And look at all these testimonials. People love it. What is it about it that didn't interest you? Or why was it, not right for you or something? But you don't make them wrong, obviously, but you just survey. Now, sometimes when you're testing ads, and because it's so cheap to test ads at $5 a day, you can run a test for 2 or 3 days. If it doesn't work, run another one. Or you can even run things simultaneously. But it's called split testing, when you try one picture to a target audience and it doesn't really work so well. You try another picture and it suddenly works great. It's called split testing, where you're just testing different variations of the same ad, or the same headline, or the same copy, or whatever. In this instance, I recommend using what's called dark posts, or unpublished posts. These are posts that aren't seen in your newsfeed, because you don't want the same ad, even different variations of it, showing up in your newsfeed over and over. And you can send these to multiple saved audiences. In this instance, you don't use the inline posts, which is what we've been using before, where you put a post in your Facebook page and promote it. These are the ones that are invisible in your Facebook page. And I'm going to cover the subject of social proof shortly, but very often people will respond to these posts, and these comments can be very valuable, because if they're positive comments, more people will buy. If they're negative comments, it'll affect sales. If they're neutral, it might leave people with unanswered questions. But if you try and do these multiple different ads, or different variations of the same ad in your inline posts, Facebook will just see it as a new ad and remove the other one, or it'll see it as a variation of the ad and remove the first one, and you lose all the comments as well. So it's definitely...
Yeah, Tony, Kathy, or Mary Kay wanted to know what's an inline post.
Okay, it's the post that you post, like the earlier ones in this sequence, that are posted you post deliberately at your Facebook page, and then you promote it.
Okay, and you also want to know, how do you prevent the hard sell email from automatically going to people that have already purchased on the soft sell?
Because Facebook gives you that option, and it has a section called exclusions.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a very well thought out system. Now, you've probably come across these landing pages that they're set up so that the only thing you can do is either subscribe or buy, and you can't go anywhere else, or you can leave. Those are the only options. You've probably seen those. You can nod if you have. Yeah. Now, Facebook recently said, okay, no, we don't like those. So now they've given new rules on how a landing page has to be in order for them to approve an ad going to that landing page. They want an image of a real person. It doesn't have to be you, but it could be. They want your contact info or a link to it. They want links at the bottom to privacy, your privacy policy, and your legal policy if you have one. And if you don't have a privacy policy, freeprivacypolicy.com will give you one. It should have navigation, at least one link that allows people to leave the page. So that one would go to your website. The navigation bar that they like to have with links, those links could be to other parts of the same page, say your testimonials section, or what the product or service is, or awards, or whatever it might be. It must be mobile responsive, which Joel went over recently. And if it has a video, the video must not autoplay. So those are the current guidelines, at least for this week. I think they'll actually be more than a week because they took a while to come up with these. But actually, I like them, and we've recently had clients revamping their landing pages and getting better results.
Good. Now, there's a question here from Kathy.
Okay.
How do we create the hard and soft sell ads? Maybe this is covered later on, or you can refer us to some source on it.
Okay, so let me see. I'm looking at the thing. Will you tell us how to create these ads? That's a whole other seminar. I mean, what I'm giving today is an overview of the basics. In 30 to 45 minutes, it really isn't time to do it. I mean, I could create a seminar in the future if David and the group wants it, but I can't cover that today because it would take us an hour and a half or more, because it's very detailed and very specific. But it's actually really, really simple. I'll just tell you very quickly, the overview is, once you have your fan page, you just go to the button that says create ad, and Facebook pretty much walks you through it. They say, you know, what do you want as a headline, what do you want as a picture, and they now have their own Shutterstock, so they have millions of pictures available to you. And then they want to know where's it going to link to, and then they want to know, well, how much do you want to spend a day, and who do you want to target? What are their interests? What are their activities? I mean, they literally walk you through it.
Good. So now, just for the group, if you would be interested in a presentation on this topic by Tony in another 2 or 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, whatever time it could take him to throw something together, assuming he can squeeze it in. Please put yes over there. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, very interested. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, Tony, doesn't seem to be much interest in this.
Yeah, okay, we'll skip that then. One thing, let me see, going back, somebody said there were some words they needed defined. If you can quickly in the text, in the chat, tell me the words that you need to find, I'll define them right now.
Well, there's a couple more people saying yes on here. My goodness.
I thought I caught the words that needed defining, but obviously I didn't. So if you just put them in the chat, I'll define them.
Good, good.
All I'm saying is yes. That I don't think needs a definition. Forgot the words already. Oh, okay. Well, you'll have my email address at the end, so you can email me and I'll define those words for you.
Thank you, Tony.
You bet. Okay, so there are 9 factors that influence whether your ad will actually convert into a subscriber or a sale. The first one is the obvious one, having a great product. You'd be amazed at the number of people who use Facebook ads to promote trash. So I know that's not the case with any of you guys. I know it's going to definitely be great products. So we're not going to go any further into that. Number 2 is the right audience addressed appropriately. And this is a very key point, because people are at various stages of willingness to convert, and each stage needs to be addressed differently. That's why I have this 9-step system, because the communication that you send to a public that's ready to buy is completely different than the communication you send to a public who's just kind of kicking the tires and just kind of looking. If you want to sell, you've got to focus on those who know who you are, who've expressed interest in you and your product, which is later in the funnel. That's why so many people try and just sell right at the very beginning of the funnel and then go, oh, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't. You've got a few sales here and there, but you'll lose out on what you could be getting. 3 is your copy, and particularly its tone. Now, sometimes long copy works, sometimes short does. Obviously, you've got to get to the point quickly, especially for the side ads. I think it's like get to the point within 90 characters. In Facebook ads, there's no universal right or wrong on copy. It depends on your audience and how much info they need in order to act, and what style or tone. In other words, is it professional, teens, casual, etc.? What style communicates to them? Obviously, no bad grammar, typos, etc. Improper use of caps on the first letter of every word or every letter of all words looks hokey, and I just don't do it. The copy must convince the user to perform the desired action. Facebook gives buttons for call to actions. They could be learn more or subscribe or buy or whatever they might be. And those buttons, you should use them. And they can be at the start and the end to remind them what you want them to do. I'm just going to, actually, instead of me jumping up to the top and checking to see if there's any questions, perhaps I'm doing this on a very small device, and so if I open the chat window, I can't see my slides. So perhaps, David, you can watch the questions in chat and let me know if something comes up that needs an answer.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
At this point, no additional questions. Carry on. It's
Okay.
pretty fascinating.
Oh, good. Yeah, for you as a dyed-in-the-wool long-term marketing guy, I bet this is kind of, I could see the kind of glisten in your eyes. Yeah, same with you, Jack. Yeah, it's pretty amazing technology.
Jack,
Yep.
yeah.
Sorry, what did you say, David?
Jack is nodding enthusiastically as well.
Yeah,
I worked quite a bit with Jack on coming up with strategies for his brilliant talent as a designer, and this falls pretty much in line with what I've been telling him, but a lot more detail to it and a lot more specifics to it, which I think will be exactly what he needs to be applying it, and probably for a lot of us. So,
good.
Carry on.
Good. Okay. So now the images. Facebook is very fussy about the dimensions of various images, and this site here, it's kind of a light color. Can you all read johnloomer.com dimensions? Because that site basically gives you all the correct dimensions. If you can't read it, it's John Loomer, JONLOOMER.com/dimensions. Images should be high quality, of course, and when you look at the image, does it grab the user's attention? And of course, you'll find that out if they're responding to your ad or not. And then if it doesn't, you tweak it and change it. You can use a face to add a personal side to the picture. Could be you or a face that your target audience can associate with. Test it. It's not effective to use logos. Your product image, if it's really enticing, can be used. Whether to use a professional or a candid photo totally depends on your audience. Do not use stock imagery. People sniff these out a mile away. They're not real. They have no soul. They're boring. Use real. If you can take your own photos, wonderful. You can use colors in your ad to make it pop or to be part of your brand. And Facebook has a rule: if you're going to stick some text over the image, make sure it's only 20% of the image is text. The type of post used, because Facebook gives you a lot of different types, the link share is the one that usually works best for conversions and driving traffic. And that's basically a link that sends them to your site or pre-sale page or landing page. In this instance, the whole ad is a link. The picture's a link, the text is a link, and this time you use the clicks to website option because you're sending them to some kind of web page.
Okay.
Quick technical note, they also give you all sorts of things you can choose, like cost per action, cost per click, people clicking on, or the click-through rate, the number of people clicking. They've got a lot of different options. The one that really is the best optimized for most cases is CPA, cost per action. But you can test to see if that's the case for you, because everybody's different. Ah, I see. You can test to see what works best for you. I see. Okay. Landing pages can influence sales, of course. A bad landing page equals no sale. If the landing page takes too long to load, it will inhibit a potential sale. The copy and the images need to be consistent with the ad. They need to follow through with the promise on the ad and not be a bait and switch. These are obvious points, but too many internet marketers violate them. Is the copy too long, which could be confusing, or is it too short, not enough info to make a decision? Is it professional, trustworthy, or sleazy? And because we don't want sleazy. And a lot of info, marketing ads. Sorry?
Quick MU here is from what is bid type?
What is what?
Bid type, the type of bid.
Oh, basically, when you're placing a Facebook ad and you're saying don't spend more than $5 a day, you're bidding that $5 for your ad to be placed X number of times to your audience within a certain time period. And Facebook gives you these choices of whether you want to pay based on how many people click your ad, or the speed with which they click, or whether they convert, or what actions they take. They give you a whole bunch of different options. And so what I was saying is the one that is most usable most often is cost per action.
Amen. I like that one the best too. So that got it cleared up. Thanks, Tony. Carry on.
Okay. Obviously, your landing page must be mobile optimized. And in the opt-in, obvious point, don't ask for too much information. Every extra field they have to fill in lessens the likelihood of a sale. Understand the minimum info necessary at this stage, which very often the minimum info is, or the most minimum is just their email address. If you can also get their first name, great. But if you, for instance, put out an ad where one of them, it's the same ad, and you try it with asking for their name and their email, and you also try it for just their email, and just their email gets you more conversions, then you use that. One of the things I really like about Facebook ads is the fact that you can just test things in lots of different varieties and variations, and not expensively. Social proof, which I mentioned before. Yeah, and I kind of covered this. If others endorse, people are more likely to buy, etc. Sometimes there'll be people, sometimes competitors will come to the page and try and destroy your reputation, and you can delete those people. Moderation, is knowing, keeping track of what people are saying is important. And a very good tool for this is agorapulse.com, agorapulse.com. It manages all your social media messages in one place and alerts you when comments are coming in, helps you launch custom contests and promotions. It's a very useful tool, and I think it's actually on the next slide. Yeah, there it is. Agorapulse, or Agorapulse, however it is set up. So it's has a free trial. I think it's like $5 a month or something very small, from what I remember. Okay, point 8 of the 9 factors is the optimization, and that's what we were talking about before. Facebook ads shows ads to people most likely to perform the desired action. Could be a conversion to to subscribe to a list or to buy the product, website clicks on different pages, engagement in one way or another, many different things. They have a drop-down box for that. But the rules of thumb, and these are just rules of thumb, they're not set in stone, but for a large, broad, not quite as relevant audience, in other words, the beginning of your funnel, and even if you're not promoting the product but looking for a sale ultimately later, you typically optimize for website clicks or engagements. They click anywhere on the ad but may not buy, to bring people into your funnel. When you start to narrow down and you've got people signed up and you're starting to send them information, so you now have a medium to large relevant audience who know you, then you optimize for conversions. Now, when you have a really tight audience of people who have visited your landing page and they've looked really close to buying, then you change the optimization to CPM, which is cost per thousand. And you can also use a thing called daily. In fact, I recommend use daily. Click off the box that says daily unique reach, which means they only see your ad once a day and not over and over. Okay, the last factor that influences a conversion is placement. And placement means, is it in here, the right-hand side, or is it in the newsfeed? And there's something to be aware of here. The sidebar will have lower click-through rates than here in the main, but the cost to reach them is very much less. So if you want to be doing some experiments, sometimes using the sidebar is a very, very inexpensive way to go. But you've got to make sure that your ad is optimized for the placement chosen. On the sidebar, really short copy, you'll get to the point within 90 characters. And the cost per 1,000 impressions is drastically different based on the placement. It could be 50 times more cost to reach on the newsfeed versus the sidebar. That's why we typically don't use CPM until we've got a very tight, focused audience. Yeah, as it says, focus on cost per desired action. And one of the things, Facebook ads, they really give you a lot of detail on all sorts of different aspects of the results. So they also show you the results by placement in the custom ads report section, so you can check that out. So, summary is not everyone is ready to buy right now. And this is the major mistake so many internet marketers make. They try and sell right now when people are just not ready. And you communicate differently depending on the audience, as we covered. Many factors contribute to how well your ad converts, which we covered. And definitely work on building website traffic, which is going to be your most valuable audience. And that's, you know, sending people to your website, to your blog posts, to your sales page, etc., to the different pages on your site. Use Facebook conversion tracking. Create website custom audiences, as we covered. Use targeting to reach your most likely audiences. And these two, there isn't time to cover today, but I will add them to the next seminar. And that's a tool called Graph Search, which is a Facebook tool a lot of people don't know about, but it goes even more precise in the targeting. It's amazingly precise in terms of people who do this but don't do this and would never think of doing that and are here but not there. And I mean, it's really, really cool stuff. And there's a thing called hashtag research, where you can find out what other kinds of interests are out there that other people are creating beyond the interests in Facebook's database, how they're talking about it, and even find people to partner with. And a great tool for doing that research is tagboard.com, tagboard.com. And I think that's it for today.
All right. Now, I do have one quick question, which is, what is a hashtag and what's it for?
Okay, a hashtag is when people, it's very well known on Twitter, not so much on Facebook, but getting more so. It's when people want to start a discussion with people that they either know or don't know all over the world on a specific subject. Let's say, for instance, like recently, for instance, there was that whole thing of Bruce Jenner saying that he was a woman. So a lot of people wanted to discuss that, so they just put hashtag Bruce Jenner. And then all sorts of people interested in that start getting into this big worldwide discussion. And that's what hashtags are.
All right. And Ellen asked if we could back up to the slide before this for just another minute.
Yes, that's $27,000.
Cheap, but twice the price.
Yeah. Actually, this is very interesting. Oh, there it is. For a second, while the chat window was open, it wouldn't let me. But now you should be seeing that screen.
Yes. Good. Now, in specific, because I'm sure Jack would want to know, is there some specific way that he would use hashtag on Amazon or, I'm sorry, on Facebook, or is this something that will get covered in more detail on your next presentation?
Yeah, for sure. It's quite a broad subject. But it basically enables you, let's say you go into the interest and they have tremendous numbers of interests, but you think of something that's not in their interests and you want to find out, well, is it of something of interest to Facebook people? You can just use that tagboard.com and search the hashtags. And if you find a lot of interest in that subject, you can add it to the interests that you're targeting.
All right. So yeah, exactly how to do that and how it would apply to the marketing and all that sounds like a fascinating topic.
Yeah. Can I ask you guys a question? Right now on my screen, I can see my slide. On top of it, on the left, I can see the group chat, and on the right, I can see the video images. Are you guys seeing just the slides, or are you also seeing all that other stuff?
I'm seeing all the other stuff too. All of it says Doug.
Okay, and you're seeing all of it from my screen, not your own chat screen. So in other words, okay.
The thumbnail of 4 participants at the top. See slides and video. Just see the slides. Turn everything.
All right. So let me ask you now. If I do this, you just see the slides.
Nope, didn't change a thing.
Really? Oh, then it must be your chat windows, not mine.
Correct. Yep, didn't change.
Okay, then yeah, I was asking if you were seeing my chat windows and my video people, but apparently you're seeing your own, which is fine, which is good. Which is actually what I prefer.
Yeah. Now let's see. Mary Kay wanted to know, is that website tagboard.com? I think that's now on the bottom of the screen, and I believe that's what it is, tagboard.
Yeah, it's an HTTPS.
Okay. Very good. And Ellen, appreciate you showing the summary page. We can't quite see the bottom of that page, but I think it's probably clear enough.
That's good to know. So in future, I'll have to make the slides a little bit shorter. On my screen, I can see them.
Yeah, and I saw them before, but this, when we went back, it did not display quite. There we go.
Oh, okay. What that was actually Zoom covering it with its own,
With their little
options. Yeah, its own options.
Good. I got it. Yeah. So perfect. You can see it all. Now I can see it all. Good. So that is excellent. Good. So you can go back to that last screen and let's get Tony's email address for your questions, specific questions on this, and all these exciting things. And so you're compiling this from quite a variety of people here, including James Taylor, one of my favorite old-time guitar players.
No, this is a Scottish James Taylor, who's a great internet marketer for musicians.
Okay. All right. Well, exciting. So if that's a wrap, Tony, go ahead and unshare your screen, and I will bring mine on, and we will wrap it up. All right. There we go. And let's see, just to recap on a few things that have been said here. Thank you, Tony. Great presentation. Thanks, Tony and David. Thanks for the education. You said you were recording this. Did we get the recording? Yes, it will be recorded in 3 different slots, and you'll get all that. Very great presentation, Tony. Thank you. Very helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Very interesting. So looks like we're getting the awesome response that I expected. Any last, and the slides for the show, if you want the slides for the show, please email me directly. I'll give you that email address here in just a couple minutes. And I will forward those to you, to the people that request them. Otherwise, I will just put up the video for everybody to see. So now, any questions for Tony on this subject of Facebook ads? Thinking in terms of application, because this is one of the reasons that we put this together is so that you would get the education, have the knowledge, and be able to start exercising your control, taking more responsibility, obviously, for your own success. Now, Joel asked, well, first of all, everybody, Tony says you're very welcome, smiley face. That's always great for a presenter to get terrific response. Now, Joel asked, what is a cost per action versus cost per click? Tony, you want to cover that quickly?
Well, Facebook basically uses different algorithms to price what it charges you based on the action taken versus whether it's just a click. So they might click on your ad and take no action, for instance. So cost per action could be they click on your ad and then they take the action of subscribing or buying.
Good. So that makes sense. Mary Kay asked, how do you know when you have enough people or likes to start marketing to them?
When you start to see engagement going on, people discussing things and you particularly engaging with them and just answering their questions and their comments, and you've got you see activity going. Let's say you've got 500 likes and they're real true likes, they're not bought likes, they're actual real people who like what you're doing. That's definitely a good starting point.
All right, so 500 likes is a good place to start as long as they're active likes or interested likes and so forth.
Yeah, and how Facebook works is it'll send your ads to more people the more it sees engagement going on your Facebook page.
All right, now this brings us to the Alliance section, which is as we start developing this a little further in some of the later modules, we're going to be talking about how we can start liking one another's activities and engaging and helping to help each other. So we just have to figure out a good way to do that. And so that is a direction that I'm interested in moving. Any other questions for Tony? Mary Kay says, thanks, great info, by the way, to your answer.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? Going once? Okay, then what should we do this week? What's our homework?
Well, figure out where you are in the 9 steps of the sequence and do the next one, or improve the one you're on.
All right. And the 9 steps are which 9 steps? The last slide?
No, the 9 steps of building a successful sales funnel.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. And yeah, it is kind of a novel idea. We should take some action, huh? So, Tony, you want to bring that up on your screen, and then I'll let you share that again because I want to make sure that people.
Well, it's actually 9 different slides, actually, or 12 different slides.
Oh my. Okay. Well, then go back through this online and check it out. Was it in the first half or the last half of the presentation?
In the middle.
Good. That's right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the key point is use what you've learned. And last point, any marketing questions that you want to pose to Tony or I real quick? We're going over our time here, but I want to see if you've got any last questions. We'll see and then we'll answer. Let's see, Matt says, can you create a flow chart that gives the mass on the whole thing, a lot of working parts over the whole thing? I think probably the best thing would be, at this point, Tony's kind of put together a flow chart and just go back through the recording of it, and you'll see how it flows there. And just create that chart for yourself, Matt, and then pass it over to Tony and I, and we'll definitely do a quality control check on it and see if you're on point. Okay, and then here's a nice success story from Mary Kay. I learned what I did wrong the first time. I'm ready to get back into this and try again. So, Mary Kay. And I have a bunch of relatives coming in tomorrow. So, okay, so she's going to have to figure out how to do this in the teeth of relatives. Oh, this is always special. Any other questions? Okay, in that case, here's your marching orders. Do it. Now, next week, we're going to have a presentation by Mayor Ezra, who is a nationally known, internationally known speaker, and he's been presenting. This is a topic that he and I have been talking about him presenting on since before I started the Mastermind. I was excited to have him volunteer to do this, and that's major mistakes when promoting through the internet. Mayor owns several companies internationally, and I think it will be an awesome blow-away presentation. I'm really looking forward to it. Same time, same station in 1 week. So make this your best 2015 ever. And here's my contact data. Look forward to you contacting me as needed. And that's the end of our show.